Spring forward, fall back. Today is the first day of daylight savings time for the year. Twice a year we're asked to adjust our clocks, which upsets a great many people. It upsets our body's rhythm, at least for a short while, and we may be early or late for events that first Sunday. In this year, 2015, the state legislature of Alaska is considering a bill to end this practice of changing the clocks twice a year, Senate Bill 6. I have not done any scientific polling, but from anecdotal evidence, it seems that the vast majority of people do not like these time changes. While most businesses are in favor of keeping the time changes, at least here in Alaska. Me, I favor one world time. Who says that the sun has to rise at 8 a.m. or whatever time? It's only a matter of perception. If we change it, people will adapt. We must understand that time and time zones are man-made constructs and have no bearing on the relative position of the Earth and the sun, nor do they have any bearing on the spin of the Earth as it relates to the position of the sun. Face it, whoever came up with the system that starts a calendar day when most people are in bed or going to bed was a nut job. If you were devising a new system, wouldn't you start the day at daybreak, or at least when people are getting out of bed to start their day? Daybreak does occur at different times around the globe, which is why we have these time zones. But are they really necessary? I live in Alaska, which has its own time zone. We used to have more than one, but the state consolidated them into one many years ago. My sister lives in Ohio, which is in the Eastern time zone, some 4 hours different. If I want to contact my sister, I have to think about what time it is where she is in Ohio. And I'm at the point in my life now where I take daily medications. And when I travel, I have to think about what time it is here in Alaska to know when to take my prescriptions. What would be the effect if we eliminated all but one time zone? Well, we would have to change the signs in businesses to reflect when they are open, with the exception of places that operate 24 hours a day. One complaint of the financial businesses is that they need to know the time when markets are open in New York in the Eastern time zone. If Eastern Standard Time were adopted as the one world zone, this would eliminate the problem. But then our school day here in Alaska would start at 4 a.m. If Greenwich time were adopted, school would start at 10 p.m. If we chose the international dateline, school would start at 5 a.m., but it would have started yesterday. But whichever time zone we choose, people will adapt. The biggest obstacle to eliminating time zones, beside the public perception of waking time, is which time zone to choose. Greenwich will declare that the Royal Observatory has been the standard of time since the age of exploration, while China may claim that it has been around much longer. And the USA will claim that it deserves the honor because America is number one. To avoid all of the inevitable infighting, I would suggest a time zone that is irrelevant to national pride. Somewhere that is sparsely populated. The international dateline, for example, would be a good choice. But in the end, it does not matter, as the world will quickly forget about the infighting and as people adapt to the one world time. I do not foresee the world eliminating time zones. This is just an exercise in thought. The real reason that people like to complain about trivial matters such as daylight savings time is that people like to complain. Remember, time itself is a man-made construct. We cannot save time, make time, bide our time, waste time, nor turn back time. But we can turn back the clock, at least once a year.